Okay. Anyway, now on that note of tomfoolery, I want to present the April-inspired Buckets and Beyond first place fool.
Some of y'all have been acting up this month. We're not even 10 days into April. And some people just
at record pace
just don't know how to handle themselves.
It's out of control. So this is our first ever first place fool, where we debate over who is the most foolish so far, and we have this lovely medal as a as for the winner or the loser, depending on how you look at it. Our contestants for this lovely medal are the Paul Pierce, aka The Truth, Boston legend, and
Mr. Poopy Pants,
co-host of The Jump at times.
Former co-host of The Jump.
Co-host. He likes to think that he and Luka have similar game styles because they're thick and they play basketball. Not accurate. Next up, somebody who's in some hot water for something that they shared with the interwebs. Michael Rapaport, comedian and basketball lover, who shared his DMs with Kevin Durant and how I think he basically accused him of like not interviewing well or something like that. And then they get into like a very vicious, like curse word filled back and forth, which Michael Rapaport posted on the line. And then Kevin Durant, who said terrible things, he's also a nominee. And he said mean things to Rapaport that are super mean, and we can't repeat them, but they're very vicious in nature. So his rep took a hit. And then last but not least, I would say actually of these people, he's probably my least favorite, is Draymond Green. This dude, oh my gosh. He tweeted at WNBA players who are constantly, a lot of these players are advocating for higher pay, better benefits. They don't make a whole lot of money because, anyway, Draymond Green essentially says like they should ask for more money. Like, why aren't they doing that? And tweets that out. And then he gets eviscerated by female Twitter and people who, think logically and have been following it. So guys, I've got a lot of craziness. I guess I should have mentioned that Paul Pierce like live streamed like a turned up party that
he had strippers at his house and posted them on IG Live.
He looked high.
He was not in his right mind. And there were also some like pretty scandalous, I don't know if scandalous is the right word. Some people were going wild in the IG Live comments.
That's good. Yeah.
My favorite
as a result,
Rachel Nichols.
No,
you know that's what got him fired. The other stuff also got him fired.
That got him definitely fired.
They were like, "Oh, we got it. Yeah, that's got to go. That's got to go." We protect Rachel here.
She's a national treasure at ESPN.
And I like The Jump. Like I like the show.
I enjoy The Jump.
Yeah.
I just don't like it when they like over involve like players like Paul Pierce that don't. I don't think they.
Paul Pierce and Kendrick Perkins are both on my.
Yeah, anybody who's played for the Boston Celtics shouldn't be on that show because they have a very skewed view of the league. But at least Kendrick Perkins knows how to behave himself in his spare time, I guess.
Or so we think.
At least for right now. Somebody make sure keep a lock on his Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Oh God. What do you got?
Are we
a lot of foolery?
These? Are we?
Yeah, let's rank them. Who do you think would be number 4? Least, I guess I'd say by default, like KD, because I think like his rep really didn't get hurt. They made it look like he was the victim, really, of like a vicious fan that encounter. So
no, Michael Rapaport takes the L here. He's taking the L.
He went out of his way to like come at KD
Yeah.
And it was a dumb thing to come at him for.
He was just coasting along in his lane, and then he swerved 4 lanes over to get over into Katie's
Take a U-turn
like
and then
all
go.
the way across the highway.
my God.
Man was
So out of
screeching
pocket.
those tires.
And
Yeah.
And then he hops on First Take and gives that like weepy interview. That has to have been a joke. He had to have been doing
It was
a
a
bit.
joke. And you know what was funny? Like Skip was kind of like at the end of the interview, he was like, that was a joke, right? When you were talking about the dog park, and then Malcolm was like, yeah, I was just bombing. Yeah. That was it was so awkward. And I was like sitting there so mad. I was like, dude, how are they finding KD for this, bro? Like, it's ugly language, it's strong language, but like I was looking at that and I don't feel like KD was like, yes, it's strong language, but KD is not he's not out of pocket here. He's
No.
It's a personal, yes, like he's making poor choices with his language, but like this is a personal conversation he's having with somebody in the privacy, and it's man to man, you know what I mean? It's something that's like, it's not something that's for the public, like I don't need to see that side of KD. Like this is like
the fact that he went out of his way to provoke him, and then he shared it.
Yeah, that's
like I'm being an NBA player bullied me.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, because you came at him on Twitter.
He's like the most emotional player in the NBA. There's only people come at him all the time.
Yeah,
and he's known to have burner accounts and be like I don't know if insecure is the right word, like maybe petty, like just like binge.
This drama, one thing that it makes me think, Lakers in 6. that's the one thing. That's the one thing it makes me think. It's like, oh yeah, I don't see LeBron James getting into comedians' DMs about like how he played on a night. Like
that's because Katie is like legitimately. I think he's like a child in a
Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. I don't believe in the Nets. I haven't believed in the Nets.
I would love it if like they had like if him or Kyrie like had like it sounds bad. Like if they like for whatever reason the other team gets in their head and then all of a sudden they're not the like prolific offense everyone thinks they're going to
be. If they just implode, like if they just airball, if they go full playoff.
Yeah, like if they go against the Bucks and the Bucks are like I can see them anyway. That's
it would take like them getting swept by the Bucks or something. It would take like a horrifying, tremendous thing to do.
It'd be funny if like Michael Rapaport's like at the game, like in a Bucks jersey, just like, let's go,
that is my dream scenario. Is I think either the Bucks. Really, I want anyone. I just don't want them to make the NBA Finals. I'm that petty, but like if the Bucks beat them in this conference finals, or the Sixers, or the Heat.
There's stronger East teams.
I need
defensive
somebody
that could dismantle them potentially, especially like Joel Embiid. Like I think he's like the king in getting people's heads. Like that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
anyway.
he is also low key an emotional player, but
but
bro, nobody is getting in KD or Kyrie's head, bro. Like they have one. Okay, Kyrie beat the Warriors. Like Kyrie's been on the net. He's beat the team that he's on before. So it's like he's not even really. It's like he's not. There's no the pressure's on the Nets for sure. The pressure is on, and we're gonna get a good series because the pressure is on. Like if the Nets drop a few games, it's gonna be like, oh shit, like what's.
But like okay, like if you're a playoff team and you're about to play the Nets, and let's say, is the move now to get somebody to DM KD and say some outrageous thing? And
I don't think you could get in his head, bro. Like KD's never been toppled. He's never been in his whole life. He's been a baller. I don't think KD's ever collapsed.
But he gets bothered. He gets bothered though. Like
he lost to the Warriors and then jumped ship.
Yeah.
He's never collapsed. He's on the Nets now, bro. He's on the Nets now. He doesn't
Here's
lose.
The other thing.
He doesn't lose.
Here's the other thing is I would worry if I'm like, trying to give money to like Michael Rapaport or like some like C-list, comedian, like, hey, like, goad. I'm not sure if I want to goad KD. I'm not sure if I want to like, I would much rather KD be kind of like checked out and just sort of like floating around lackadaisical, like, oh, whatever, like I haven't really played with these guys in like 2 months, but like let's go win a championship. I would rather him be that way than him try to like drop 50 on my head. Which I feel like if you
prod him, then
like
he'll take it personally.
there's the line between like getting a guy in his own head and just amping a guy up to destroy you, if that makes sense. Like there's a line.
Yeah,
you kind of have to thread the needle here between like we're gonna like shake and kind of rattle them a little bit versus like, oh no, you just like pissed off a sleeping bear and they're gonna wipe the floor with you.
But I think in the playoffs, I think the team that's best equipped to get in KD's head, I think could be either the Bucks or the 76ers, just because the talent and defense is all there. So if they get physical with him, or if they like get him uncomfortable, I think that's probably the best way that they get in his head. And that Joel Embiid can like, talk all the smack and, if he, whatever. Anyway, we're getting off course. So Michael Rapaport is in the lead for the first place fool.
Wait, he's in the lead for first place fool? I thought we were ranking him at the bottom. Or no, KD is at the bottom.
KD is the 4th spot right now because he's
discussed them too so far.
Yeah,
in depth.
And and Paul, so he's Rapaport is leading over Paul Pierce right now, and now we reach to Draymond. What do you guys think about his whole fiasco?
Draymond, I didn't see the tweets, but I'm familiar with. I think he had drama earlier when he was like, he was trying to shout out a WNBA player, and like they took offense to how he uses diction, bro. Like the way he said it, it was like kind of I don't know how he said it exactly. But he's had beef. He's gotten in Twitter spats with WNBA players before, is my point. And so like I kind of feel like Draymond kind of has a thing with WNBA players. And
I have the tweet. He said, as long as y'all make the argument about pay while the revenue stays the same, they will continue to point at the revenue not being high enough to cover big salaries. While that is true in damn near every business, how do we take that card out of their pockets? That's the key to changing the pay. There's no argument for lack of revenue unless you make those that say they stand for women actually stand up.
See, like, that's a bunch of foolery. I don't know, like that's a bunch of talking to me. Like,
and he tagged all these WNBA players. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to say that, but I mean, I think the WNBA does deserve some criticism. Like, bro, like I've paid for a Ronda Rousey. By the way, I paid for a Ronda Rousey fight, bro. Like, I've been entertained by women doing stuff that men generally get,
like athletically,
like in athletics, and really I'm sure we could break it down and look at other industries as well. But bro, like the WNBA could be doing a lot better, bro. Like Tracy McGrady, he suggested on the jump that they should lower the net, which I think is genius. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Like the ball's already smaller and the women are smaller too. And we want to see them yam.
Have you been to a WNBA
I want to see
game?
Brittany Griner yam. I don't want to see her like I don't want to see.
Have you been to a WNBA game?
No, but I watched.
You gotta go, man. Like you have to experience these. Like real talk.
Basketball, bro.
I think the best people to talk about this are people who have seen these people play.
They not hooping, bro. They're not hooping.
You don't even know. You haven't gone.
I've watched women's basketball, bro. They are not hooping, and it's because the game is. It's not. Make the court smaller. Make the rules a little different. Make them scrappier. Make them fight each other. Make them do this.
Dude, like there's. Oh my god.
Okay, Jay.
That's out
of pocket.
But people always bring up ways to make the league better, and I think Draymond could have done it a little better. But people always kind of nudge the league, like, hey.
But I don't think that
people always promote the league.
The problem.
But then nothing ever changes. So
Andrew, what are you thinking? Before Jay gets in more
so I think I would rank Draymond at the bottom of my list of like acting of first place fools this month. Because obviously the intention there is right and correct. I think the result, like his intentions were maybe good, but tweets are a bad place to have like this nuanced discussion about like how do we get to equal pay in sports. But I think you've seen it a lot with like the US women's national soccer team, where like they are the greatest team on earth. They are light years better than our men's national team, and yet their pay is like 10% or like 20% of the men's team. So in that regard, like, and more people, I mean, and in that situation, the revenue is actually like a little bit more on balance. It's just like the leagues not being willing to play. So I think people, WNBA players like kind of annoyance with Draymond in this is that there needs to be a conversation about like how to increase revenues or like maybe make the product more or better. But it's kind of like, what comes first? Do you make the product better and then you get put on primetime television, or do you get put on primetime and then the product, like, because I don't even know where I would watch a WNBA game. Like I've watched some of the NCAA women's like championship tournament, like there have been some nuts.
They play them on ESPN too, bro. They play them every once in a while. If they were worth watching, and if you cared to watch them, you would tune in, bro. They have them on TV. They're on Fox Sports. They have WNBA games on TV, bro.
I know what that's not what
a few a week probably.
That. We know that they're there.
But it's a question of like
I'm just arguing the point that like should they be like propped up? I think they're propped up just fine. My whole thing is I think Draymond's fair for coming at him, but I think he's kind of a fool for doing it like on Twitter.
But like the way he's going about it is saying, like they're not trying to work towards higher pay. And they've made a lot of strides recently in like the NBA partnering with the WNBA and propping it up and saying like, you know, all these NBA players are shouting the praises of these great players. And a lot of players in the WNBA are a lot better in how they know the game. Like their fundamentals are like extremely developed, and they may not be as athletic or all this stuff, but they, like Kobe is like one of the biggest champions of the WNBA. And he talks about how like a lot of these girls could beat NBA players because they don't know like the basics. Like they just like live off their talent or their athleticism, but these girls can outsmart a lot of these players. So I think like really it's just the WNBA could do better at marketing their brand and what the, you know,
I think they're always going to be playing at a disadvantage though when say you have the women's national championship game and the men's national championship game, like the thing that's going to get prime billing like is always going to be the men's game. Like,
I disagree, bro. I think it's possible to have dude, Ronda Rousey sold, she had a best-selling UFC fight.
That's like one person. That's easier to market around one person and like them going through the sport.
Okay, well, the UFC is built like a league. It's built like a league. Each fighter is basically a team. So I mean, like,
yeah.
But I think like what the issue is, like because men's and women's basketball, that like women's basketball is always going to be second fiddle or whatever, just because of the, you know, the differences in the game. But what they can do is try to like have more of a cohesive relationship where they're like, you know, they're saying both of them are like a major league. They're both great entertainment. They're both these things. The issue is like, if you've been to a WNBA game, they're in like smaller like I went to one at UT Arlington's arena, and it maybe was like half full.
Oh, the one up on the stage.
Yeah, no, they're for the Dallas Wings, like their WNBA team. So like the entertainment was there, the basketball was all there. It's just a little different. Like I think the people have not even considered it or given it a chance, or they won't go to a game even though their seats are stupid cheap. And once you go, like you'll get like, it's fun. It's a fun environment. They do really like hype everything up. Again, like they need to build the brand in order to grow the fan base, and then they can start making more money. I want to make
a point, bro. They actually like in the last 3 years, this is a little known fact. The last 3 years was the first time the WNBA was profitable. before then, the WNBA was a money sink because the NBA was supporting it. Like they shared their money somehow. Like and the NBA supported the WNBA. The WNBA is now profitable, and the WNBA has been going up like this, bro.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of players from overseas and a lot of good. Yeah,
they're doing their thing, man. Like it's growing. My thing is like it could be growing faster, and really like people should be a more acknowledged fact, bro. The WNBA is doing better, and it could be doing a lot better. I disagree. Yeah. I think that women's basketball, I think it's entirely possible.
It's more entertaining than baseball. Like I would rather go to a Wings game than a Ranger game.
In our lifetime, then we might see a day where more people are going to WNBA games than baseball games, bro.
Like if they're in a team that doesn't have one,
I think this sounds crazy, but it's possible for a WNBA basketball game to have more attendance than an NBA basketball game. There might be a day where women's basketball is more popular than men's. It's possible, but it would take the game being better. It would take. Like the game is not quite as entertaining as men's basketball because they're playing the same game. Go, man. The same size.
I think the question.
It's a great
question that's left from Draymond's tweets and from the whole discussion is like, okay, who is responsible for making the game better? Is it the league itself for setting up rules and promoting it differently? Is it on the players to just be better basketball players? Because I think we've established that like fundamentally they are like pretty damn talented or just as like fundamentally talented and skilled. You know, not every WNBA player is yamming on the rim. Like they're not throwing down massive dunks, but like skills wise, they're comparable to anybody else in the men's game. But it's like who bears the responsibility? Is it owners? Is it TV networks giving them the same opportunities to like showcase, women's basketball games? Like who is responsible? Because I think like WNBA players saw that from Draymond and he was like, y'all need to fix the revenue. And it's like, what do you want us to do? What do you want me to do about the revenue? Delivery. Like I'm playing the game like as best as I can. I'm playing out of my mind.
But like even if somebody plays out of their mind and they have like record attendance, like that player is not going to benefit from it. It's going to be the player like 5 years from now when the league is better, right? Like it's not going to happen overnight. And like a year from now, the pay might be a little better, but they're incrementally getting better. It's just making the right strides in the right direction. So I don't know. I think it's all of the above, man. I don't think because you see players anytime like. I'm telling you, when Tracy McGrady, he made a suggestion to what's her name, Breonna Stewart. Yeah, Stewart, I'm mixing up.
Breonna Stewart was,
and I've done this before.
UConn. I thought she was like the player of the year at UConn.
Yeah, she was like player of the year, and she was MVP and WNBA. Like really tall white girl, like she was balling out, but she got like really offended at all types of like she was like, oh, what? You don't think we could do that? Like when Trace McGrady offered to, when he was like, maybe y'all should lower the rim so y'all could yam on each other. Like wouldn't like everybody loves watching people yam. Like, why don't you do it? And and he didn't say it like that. Obviously, he said it in a very, very respectful, professional way. In a way like he was doing business. Really, he was just saying like, yo, like y'all would make a lot more money if y'all, maybe have you ever considered this? And she was like, took offense to that. She was like, what? Oh, we've been playing the same game my whole life. Meanwhile, they're playing on different basketballs. It's not the same game. But like the players themselves do not advocate for changing the league at all. Like if you notice.
No, because they've been raised their whole life on a 10-foot rim. They're not going to suddenly switch to an 8-foot rim. That's ridiculous.
Dude, like.
They're not going to.
That's a small price to pay to make. Like, okay, but what, pick your struggle, bro. Like, do you want more money or do you want to make do you want more money in entertaining products or do you want?
They're gonna laugh at the fact that you lowered the rim. Like, oh my gosh!
Like I said, pick your struggle. Like you can't have everything.
That will not solve anything.
I think
it'll solve the entertainment factor for sure, and it'll make more people watch. It'll make. Money.
I see where she's coming from because I think a lot of players. I think old school NBA players look at the league now as like whenever you change rules of being like, man, this isn't the way the game's supposed to be played. But I feel like if you suggesting that, I kind of see where she's coming from in that like it's kind of like suggesting like, well, if y'all just played like on a kiddie rim, like maybe more people would watch. Like if you guys like, everyone loves to watch people like. There's some
NBA doesn't have a problem with people watching. Like they're the ones with the problem. You know what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at too, though, right?
But like
Yeah,
that's changing the product too much.
I don't know what the fix is. I'm kind of the opinion, and I come at this more like from seeing the situation with like the women's national team in soccer, where like the revenue is already there. The quality on the field is already there. Like they're smoking people out on the pitch, but you're just not paying them more. You're just like, someone at the top is choosing to not pay you. Like the national team is choosing to pay men's players like $900,000 per game, and they are choosing to pay you $120,000 per game. Like at a certain point, I think it becomes a matter of like choice and priorities. It's a choice for the viewer. Like, what am I going to tune into? Am I going to support this? Am I going to put my eyeballs on it and pay money or pay for my viewership?
Right.
But also at a certain point, like somebody at the top, owners or the league or whoever, like has to decide, yeah, we're going to pay you like we think you're a top tier product, top tier athlete, and we're going to put you on the same level as like NBA or as the men's teams get put on. It's a matter of priorities, I think, both for us as a viewer and for people in charge of those pay decisions and like ownership and within the league to decide, like, yeah, we're gonna invest in this. I don't know. I don't have an easy. I don't think there is an easy
soccer
fix.
And basketball are different discussions. Like when you look at soccer, like our best women's athletes, like when you just look at, and I mean, I guess I'm sort of speaking from anecdotals, but when you look at the youth soccer atmosphere and the club soccer atmosphere, the best women's athletes in my school growing up, when I think about it, a lot of them played soccer. But when I think about who are the best men's athletes, like who are those guys? I'm thinking of like big monsters who played football. Like, so the men's national soccer team, those were like the smaller dudes that, yeah, like they were like tough athletes. They were tough dudes, but like, bro, they were not hoopers.
They didn't have
not football, but they were not the same athletes, bro. So like the women's national team, I feel like since they're the best they're the best athletes. They're like, I think it's a totally different thing. Like they're totally getting shafted. WNBA is a different thing because they're the best. Men are the best in our sport in basketball. Women are the best in soccer. Men in soccer suck. But women in basketball in general, suck. You know, like that. I sort of see it like that.
let's put a ball on it real quick.
Okay.
The way I look at it is women's soccer peaked, but the problem is, I think as a sport, America does not value soccer as much, and less so on the women's side. So they peaked and they keep winning all this stuff, and they deserve higher pay because they are the best at what they do. But I think like the market is catching up with how good they are, and like, hey, we need to give them more money. Yes, but like again, I think it's kind of a chicken or the egg or whatever. They deserve more, and the WNBA players deserve more, but they need to, like you said, like have people invest in them and promote them and get them better opportunities.
But something we all can agree on now, Paul Pierce, first fool, yay or nay?
Number one?
We're gonna pivot to
over
Paul
Rapaport.
Pierce.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I thought Rapaport would be one.
Ben, do you have Rapaport at your number one?
I got to give it to Rapaport too, bro. But
I just think he did way too much on the foolish spectrum.
Nah, Paul Pierce lost his job. He acted a fool so much. He had the easiest job in the league. Show up on like at noon on like a weekday. Show up and say some out of pocket stuff about like, me and Luka are kind of the same guy, and just say wild shit on television. He had the easiest job. Paul Pierce fumbled the bag by going on IG Live high out of his mind with like strippers in the back. That to me is like, ooh man, you effed. Like Rapaport, I think is gonna be fine after. I mean, Paul Pierce will be fine. They're all gonna be fine.
Okay, but think about this.
I think the
Rapaport will be
consequences
fine.
are higher for Paul Pierce.
Rapaport Paul Pierce has the easiest job in entertainment. He has the easiest job for his role, right? Michael Rapaport has the easiest job in the world. He doesn't even really have a job, because when you're a comedian actor, you don't actually have a job.
No.
Yeah, you have that's your job for like a few minutes here and there, but like, bro,
that pays the bills when you can't tour or whatever.
He has a podcast, he has a Patreon, like he has a website, he has content, he has this and that.
Paul Pierce is just gonna pivot to a podcast now. Like he can, he's gonna ride this thing out. He'll have like the same setup but a podcast.
He'll be fine. And
I don't know.
Michael Rapaport actually made in my opinion, in my code, he made personal violations.
And I think,
and I don't think Paul Pierce
NBA probably pays 30% of his salary.
Rapaport broke the moral code. Paul Pierce just put some stupid stuff on.
He got lit and then recorded it. I don't think that. I mean, that's dumb, but I think Rappaport crossed a lot of lines.
Okay, I see where you guys are coming from.
The NBA is a huge source of his income. He's got relationships with the NBA where he'll do different productions with them or whatever. And I bet you he's not doing the big three with Ice Cube the next time they do that, because he crossed those lines. He made a personal conversation public to everybody and viciously attacked KD for no reason.
I guess here's what I'll say. I guess Rapaport was already a punchline to me. He already was a joke. And so this just made it all the more clear. Paul Pierce still had some I get kind of credibility in the tank. He's probably going to be a Hall of Fame player. He's won an NBA championship. He's done all these things. And then to post that and 2 days later be immediately let go from ESPN, that feels like a farther. I get what you guys are saying though about Rapaport broke some moral ethical codes, whereas Paul Pierce was just having a good time and he happened to post it on
Rapaport
Instagram.
had more to lose. I think legit it's gonna be tough for I don't think you guys realize how much he's entrenched in the whole NBA culture. That's been his thing for and he's been the angry Knicks fan, or I think his angry Knicks fan, his inner Knicks fan, came out against KD and it got him all this flack. It just
again, he's a Knicks fan. He has nothing to lose.
His stock is going down for
his
though.
I don't know.
Okay.
When is he gonna work again? I guess he can try to get an open mic or something. I feel real bad for him.
Losing that nice ESPN gig though, and you really have no business being there in the first place. All you had to do
it's oh my gosh. It's
and for what? For you to be on camera Monica, come over.
Ben, the Paul Pierce thing, actually kind of the way for both of them, because they both have extremely easy jobs. But it reminds me of the Gina Carano situation with Disney and The Mandalorian, where she tweets out some conspiracy theorist anti-Semitic baloney, and you lose your job, which is the easy. You get to be in Star Wars and you tweet out some stupid crap and you lose it. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. If you told me, hey, you can appear on ESPN 2 or 3 times a week and you get paid oodles of money, I would throw my phone away. You could lock it in a safe. I would pay an assistant just to manage my to make sure I don't tweet out some. I mean, I also want to cultivate a mindset where I'm not thinking or saying racist bullshit, but you do something stupid on social media and you have that
every HR entry interview, what not to do. It's not that it doesn't.
It's not that hard, and people still keep making people celebrities.
But I think what Paul Pierce did is almost that same but he's high. I can't whatever. I think Michael Rapaport wins the first place full, first ever 2021 edition.
Congratulations.
We'll have to make an edit with him wearing the first place full. And I wonder if we tweet at him if he'll be mad and tweet back at us.
No.
Do we kick at? I don't want to kick him while he's down, but
his assistant has taken his phone away.
Congrats,
He's grounded.
Does he go by Mike?
Michael.
Because I
Mike
really don't
Rapp.
want to.
Okay.
Congrats, Mike.
I really don't
no,
wanna
we call him
write-
Mike. Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to
Congrats,
have to
Mike.
write out all of Rapaport. Like I could type it out, but I like drawing it.
I think you did great, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to make an edit or
This is
something.
beautiful.
But that's our show. That's Buckets and Beyond. We had a fun little get together. We're excited for these upcoming games for the Mavs. I think we can really build some more momentum if we play everybody. Who knows? Y'all got anything else?
Yeah, we have the easiest remaining schedule, Mavs fans, which is extremely hopeful, but is also going to be infuriating every time we lose because we are going to drop a few of these, and I am going to be pissed about it.
We are, as of right now, a game behind the Blazers for the 6th spot. So we'll keep you guys posted on that.
Before
all
we
the
wrap up,
scenarios.
I just tweeted out a poll. I'm going to see the results, but I kind of want to get at Jay here a little bit.
Oh, God.
Who are we passing when we take the 6th seed? Are we passing the Trailblazers or are we passing the
knows what
Lakers?
Yeah.
Are we-
I saw the tweet. Yeah,
Are we
I saw the tweet.
overtaking the Trailblazers? Or, the safe bet is the Trailblazers because we're only a game back. I think we're 2.5 back of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Who are we catching, guys?
I saw that before we went on air, and I literally thought, like, why is he even putting this in the universe? Like, why is he even putting this out there? And I hit Blazers immediately. Like, from my
Didn't even
personal
think about it.
account.
Instinctual.
Yeah, I was like,
Instinctual.
what do you mean Lakers? No, Lakers champions? No, LeBron? No, bro. Get out of here. Yeah.
LeBron
I
ain't playing.
literally had this went through this
Yeah.
before pod, and I was like, how dare he? Yeah, bro. Obviously, like, we're 2.5 games behind the Lakers, and then like 2 games behind the Blazers, something like. So such a tight race. I'm ready for the playoffs to start today because I feel like in the last few games.
No, not today. Not today. We need to get that 6th spot.
I think.
Oh yeah, well.
I don't want that playing game.
Ooh, JJ Redick.
Give me the
should
playing
make
game.
it debut on Monday.
Give me the playing game. JJ ready to go by the time the series starts.
You're gonna play against the
That's
Sixers.
where I'm at right now at this moment. Now, next pod I'll probably be crying. Trying to get KP assassinated or something. Just jokes, y'all. But that's where I'm at. I think we're in good shape.
Here's my hope, and I'll stop talking. I promise, Ben. We take that 6th seed. Y'all know who we play in the first round if we're the 6th seed right now?
Give me the Clippers.
We're playing the Clippers. Rematch, baby.
Yes, sir.
Rematch. Let's go. I want that 6th seed, and I want the Clippers.
Let's go. Yeah. You know what? I'm with you.
Let's go.
It would be so cool to see if we could beat the Clippers with JJ on the team and he helps us beat them. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, bro.
That would be nice. Well, sprinkle some optimism, sprinkle some hope.
A new hope, if you will.
Yeah. Catch us on Instagram at Buckets and Beyond on Instagram. On Twitter, it's just Buckets Beyond. Somebody stole that.
Hit us up.
Yeah, somebody stole.
Give us your
and
thoughts.
on
Let
Twitter.
us know what you think of the pod. Give us questions. Maybe we'll answer them. Who knows? But yeah, we're trying to get interactive with y'all. Give us we're MFFLs that are hyped about this team most of the time. So let us know what you think.
And ready to clown on Michael Rapaport at a moment's notice at any time.
100%.
MFLs and EFLs, enemies for life with Rapaport.
Who do you let us know in the comments below who you think should have won first place full? All right, that's all. We've probably talked for too long. This has been Buckets and Beyond. I'm Ben Seibel.
Andrew Bennett, aka the Goon.
Jay Bonnie, your boy. Peace out.
And we out of here. Adios.
Deuces.